Hey, what's up, guys? This is David Chase Taylor of 911truther.org. Today is July 4th of 2025. So, based on breaking news and events, it appears the CIA headquarters located in Lucerne at Lake Geneva in Switzerland is going to stage one or more assassinations, terror attacks, or apocalyptic natural disasters on the evening of July 4th in the United States and or the morning of July 5th elsewhere in the world. For the record, this is the second video I've made about July 4th. It's imperative to note that although July 4th is in fact an American holiday, it is a de facto Swiss holiday because the 4th is, the number 4 represents the Swiss cross, and so blood sacrifices are in order on this particular day, offered up to the CIA and their headquarters in Geneva, Switzerland. So without listing the previous attacks and terror scenarios depicted in my last video, I'm just going to briefly update the potential targets this evening. So first of all, into what type, I'm going to just basically outline what type of attacks are expected and where they're expected to happen. So firstly, in respect to the type of attacks, as I mentioned yesterday, there's been a ominous number of firework explosions. There was a firework explosion in California at a fireworks factory. I mentioned that already in the last video, but since then I've been I discovered that there's been 2 house-related explosions. So sometime this evening, the CIA is going to assassinate, maim, injure, potentially scores of Americans and or A-list celebrities under the guise of accidental fireworks explosions. Dovetailing off this, they plan to assassinate and murder scores of Americans and or A-list celebrities under the guise of fireworks-related fires. So if you recall, a few months ago there was the LA fires, and so the CIA is planning a redux of this, potentially under the guise of fireworks-related infernos, which will likely be executed by NATO satellites, direct energy weapons, DEW. Obviously, Los Angeles is the number 1 target. Other dry cities, such as Las Vegas, possibly Denver, Colorado, and then eastward, Philadelphia, Chicago, obviously Washington, D.C., New York City, Miami are other potential targets. As always, there's the possibility that the CIA is going to stage an Iranian offensive, as detailed in the last video. Coincidentally, tonight, July 4th, there's numerous concerts going around the United States celebrating the holiday. And if you recall that the October 7th attack specifically targeted a concert of peace-loving Israeli hippies. That's a different story. But nonetheless, they attacked a concert venue. This attack was allegedly a Iran-backed Hamas attack. Everybody knows it was Israeli special forces dressed up as Hamas, which is Hamas or Hummus. It's an inside joke. And so on the evening of July 4th, there's 2 massive concerts. One is in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the other being in New York City. I am not privy to all concerts going on around the United States, but if in fact a concert is in fact targeted, it will predictably result in mass death, casualties, possibly a hostage crisis, and likely death of 1 or more celebrities. Considering the DHS and FBI terror memo mentioned in the last video, a series of escalating suicide bombings may rock the United States on this particular evening. This will subsequently be blamed on Iran and be used to trigger a U.S.-Iranian war as pretext for World War III. There's also the realistic possibility that the CIA is going to bring in special forces from Ukraine, the neo-Nazi battalion, the Azov battalion of Ukraine, and stage attacks in the United States under the guise of anti-Semitic white supremacist related attacks. The capital of Raleigh, North Carolina, and Charleston, South Carolina, or Columbia, South Carolina, the capitals of the Carolinas are potential targets. Obviously, other state capitals, Jewish-related entities, Islamic-related entities, or any non-white Christian-related entities may suffer an attack, as well as the embassies or the consulates of Ukraine or Israel. That being said, the most likely major event for the evening of July 4th is a Chinese ICBM nuclear missile strikes targeting multiple cities on the western half of the United States, such as Seattle, Portland, Denver, San Francisco, Los Angeles, San Diego, Phoenix, etc. Plan B appears to be some sort of a nuclear-related electromagnetic pulse-related event, which would knock out the electricity to the United States, and that has been practiced repeatedly under the guise of GridX, the power exercise. So, lastly, the other scenario is that the CIA stages an asteroid attack targeting the United States or elsewhere around the world, most likely on the morning of July 5th, somewhere else in the world, which would be executed during prime time in the United States on the evening of July 4th, so that while everybody is watching television, watching the July 4th celebrations in New York City, that is likely what is going to happen, which would be roughly 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So potential hotspots. And I should also mention that the CIA is planning to crash one or more commercial airliners on the evening of July 4th to target celebrities in some sort of a ritualistic blood sacrifice offered up to what I said is July 4th, the de facto Swiss holiday, and which is, you can find my report on this at 911truth.org, but this would likely target neighborhoods, skyscrapers, or nightclubs, possibly in Las Vegas, Los Angeles, Miami, or New York City. So exactly when and where the aforementioned attacks and terror scenarios would take place is obviously not known, but there are some high-profile gatherings on the evening of July 4th. The main one is obviously going to be at the White House. So Donald J. Trump just signed one big, beautiful bill on the date of July 4th, 2025, and he is also hosting some sort of a picnic at the White House grounds, and there's going to be a number of flyovers, I believe, and as well as a fireworks show that starts at 9 p.m. Eastern. Obviously, there's going to be hundreds of congressmen there, senators, celebrities, Donald J. Trump himself, which is obviously a target number one. There's also a second hotspot, so to speak, which is in Los Angeles. So right now, as we speak, Los Angeles is basically under siege by the state-sponsored protesters under the guise that are marching in the streets, protesting under the guise of anti-ICE protests. So this is ongoing right now. So there's cameras that are being trained on these protesters as we speak, and so some sort of situation developing out of that chaos in Los Angeles is expected. As I previously mentioned, there's a massive concert going on in New York City with tons of celebrities, which will conclude with the Macy's July 4th fireworks celebration. This has been going on for over 100 years. I believe it's on the East River in New York City. And so hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people will be gathered on both banks of the river for this huge show that is slated to transpire. So obviously some sort of horrific attack or accident or terror event is expected during this show. As previously mentioned, there's also a live concert in Philadelphia, and this is also going to conclude with the fireworks show, so the same goes for Philadelphia. Historically, Las Vegas has also had a massive show on July 4th, and so that's another hot spot in Las Vegas to watch out for. So obviously, and I should mention, in respect to the fireworks-related accidents, if you recall, 10 years ago, John Pierre-Paul, who was, I believe, a linebacker or a defensive end for the New York Giants, he lost 3 of his fingers in a fireworks-related explosion. And so some sort of fireworks-related explosion designed to maim or kill one or more celebrities is expected. I should have mentioned that earlier. I apologize. Oh, and I should mention there's also one other major event happening, and that's Taylor Swift's annual July 4th party. So because she's dating Travis Kelce, the likes of Patrick Mahomes, and all of her celebrity girlfriends are going to be there. And we know that the CIA loves to execute female blood sacrifices as well as targeting high-profile celebrities. I don't want to go into all the names, but the list is so long I can't even begin to mention it. So some sort of terror event, some sort of accident, some sort of attack or terror event is possibly in line for that potential hotspot. I'm not sure where she's partying at. I don't know if it's Rhode Island, New York, or LA, or Miami, or what have you, but that's also a potential target that the CIA would attack. So obviously, in conclusion, if the CIA stages any sort of terror events, attacks, bombings, or they stage an asteroid attack on the evening of July 4th, or any other sort of attack by a foreign nation, any sort of terror event, obviously know that it was not a random stance. It's a blood sacrifice offered up to Switzerland, who bears the number 4, the cross, on their flag. This is not a mistake, because the United States is basically under the de facto command and control of Switzerland. And so this is obviously, and it would likely be executed by the Israeli Mossad, who is the henchman, if you will, of Switzerland. So obviously, if that happens, I kindly ask you to download this video and share with local, state, and federal law enforcement, military, and intelligence officials, as well as with national, international, local, national, and international media outlets.